Okay, using a stone drill like this, they don't have to be pretty. This one's real fancy looking, but it's an excellent way to ream out the inside of the foreshaft, either on cane or even on a solid shaft material. Okay, let's see how this goes. I'm going to hold the drill bit between my feet. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to tip it forward a little. Got some overhead obstructions. Anyway, I'm going to spin the shaft. Take a look at it. It's reaming up quite nicely. The interesting part about this foreshaft method is its strength comes from actually being weak somewhat. We weaken by reaming out the inside of the shaft. We weaken the cane. It's very thin at this forward part, and it gets a little thicker back there. But it's still, we've created a weakness, and to make up for that, we have this wrap. And the wrap is really what holds everything together. That's the magic in the whole system. The point, the foreshaft, is larger than the main shaft, so it can never fit inside, provided that the wrap is tight enough. So as we throw it and it hits a rock or a tree or something, it's going to want to be driven back in, but it can only go so far because the wrapping is going to hold it all together. So it's that give that it experiences when it hits something that actually keeps it intact. Anyway, I've set my point in. I made sure it's straight as it can be anyway. And I'm going to slam it down on these bricks here. Hopefully you can see this. I'm really going to throw it down pretty hard. That's driven that back and split the cane ever so slightly in a couple of spots. But again, this is holding on real tight, so it can't spread out. This is wider than here, so it can't fit inside. And I've got a really strong point. Now if I'm going to throw this at hay bales, I'd be wise, and I'm going to use a little hot melt glue inside here. I'll just wiggle this and take it back out, heat up some hot melt glue, put it on, and slam it back in place again. But there we go. We've got a point. A little sharpening there would be plenty good enough for target practice. Okay, before I give this dart its maiden flight, I'm going to hot melt in this foreshaft so I don't lose it in my hay bale. Just got this craft hot melt glue. It works really well. It's very rubbery, so it gives when it hits something hard. So I'm just going to mark the shaft so I can get it back in the same way. It's nice and straight this way. My hot melt glue got my foreshaft. One thing is with hot melt glue, I realized that it works much better. Same with pine pitch adhesive and stuff. If you heat up the thing you're going to put the glue on a little bit as well. I'm just going to put a little bit. It doesn't take much. This way, if I break the point at some point it needs replacing, I can just heat up the end and retract this, where without the glues I couldn't do that. Heat this and heat the dart shaft a little bit, see? I'm going to find that pencil mark that I made, jam it in, and slam it on the ground. Really seat it in good. There we go. Okay, we're going to test this foreshaft and see if it holds up to this piece of wood here. I'm just going to slam it in as hard as I can and see if it withstands the hit. I'm not going to go far away, I'm just going to throw it as hard as I can. There you go, you ready? There you go. No damage at all. Pushed it back in a little bit more, but that's about it. That's about as bad as it can be, other than hitting a rock and destroying this part. And the force of that was driven straight back in. Another shot, another survivor.